I skipped class yesterday and stayed home and studied cryptocurrency.
So you should say
really fucking boring, honestly.
It was really boring, yeah. Yesterday was one of the more boring days.
What a colossal waste of time, energy, and money.
It's for my job. It's not time or energy. It's time. It's not a waste of money.
He's wasting someone else's money.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right.
No, Steven told me to do it, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Casual Coders Podcast, where we talk about this garbage all the time.
All right. So the big headline of today is, now if you guys don't know, we are from the Ohio area. So when Intel announced they're putting a semiconductor plant in our backyard, we got very excited. But
The biggest in the world?
the
You're way
biggest.
not close to that mic, Alex.
Say that
That was
again.
very loud. The biggest in the world?
Yes, and it's going to be like, there's both concerns. There's pros and cons to everything. One of the biggest cons in some. Okay, maybe we shouldn't talk about this, but some people are mad that the state spent $2 billion on convincing Intel to put it in.
At least.
At least.
But just
We don't know all the incentives.
But just think about how many jobs it's going to create.
Yeah, right. It's like 10,000 jobs
That's
when
it.
it starts, plus a whole bunch of industry.
Well, yeah, think about
More
it, because
jobs
they're putting
there.
it in the middle of fucking nowhere.
They're putting it in Cincinnati. Or not,
It's Columbus.
It's Columbus,
I'm
but they're
retarded.
putting it in like the next county over.
It's a lot cheaper when
It's
nobody's
cheap.
around.
Yeah, I think.
Just like why
going,
Breaking Bad filmed in Albuquerque and not Las Vegas.
Yeah, aren't they going in? What? Yeah, it's Columbus. And
It's
then
the Columbus
somewhere in
area-
the
metropolitan
yeah,
area.
like farmland in Columbus, 1,500 acres, if I recall
Yeah, a
correctly.
A plant for up to 8 factories, so they need a lot of space. I mean, if a 3-bedroom apartment in Columbus is as expensive as it might be, I'm guessing they need a little bit more space.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, a 3-bedroom apartment is dwarfed in comparison to the 1,500 acres.
They
that they're,
want to have it
building.
operating by 2025.
That is impressively quick for
Yeah.
how much infrastructure is required for that.
Yeah, and I think that it's, and I don't want to talk about Reaganomics, but at the same time, the area around the plant is going to have other buildings and other businesses pop up to
Yeah,
take
right,
advantage
because
of that.
they need to.
Oh, hey, these workers need somewhere to go to lunch. Let's go put a McDonald's.
I
or
need
put in a
my
restaurant here.
McDonald's Mac Chicken Nuggets to work at my factory.
Oh my god.
Not sponsored.
Sponsored by... Oh.
No, but bringing this to something that's not McDonald's, you need water purifying plants because fabs require 5 million gallons a day of
lot of water.
100% pure fresh water. Any impurity will destroy your silicon wafer because we're talking about the size of a speck of dust or less than that for the transistors and for the logic gates that are on this piece of silicon. If a single piece of dust gets in there, it's gone. You've ruined a chip or a whole batch of chips. It needs ultra pure water, and it needs a whole bunch of other things. You have to supply the silicon, you have to supply dopants, you have to supply a whole bunch of other things.
Well, this is America. We have a lot of resources. So if we need sand,
you're
there's an
gonna make a
entire
joke.
desert to the west.
Yeah, we'll just go mine Texas for the waste of sand that some of the ICs are.
So yeah, the technical location is not Columbus. According to Business Insider, it is New Albany, Ohio, which is
New
a
Albany.
suburb.
I've never
of
heard of
Columbus.
that.
Way better than old Albany.
Right?
I don't know where Old Albany is, but I guess it fucking sucks.
York?
So,
Apparently.
I guess.
Where's
so.
Old York?
That's
Who
a
knows?
really
England.
good question. Yeah, where is Old York?
Apparently, by the way, I love the name. The name of the bill that they pushed to get the semiconductor built is called the CHIPS Act.
Thanks, I hate it.
What did they do to make that backronym work? I want to know what it actually stands for.
No,
and just how
it's not
awkward
on
it
the
is.
article. Let me
right.
look.
Circuit. Hotel. Nope.
Let's make our own.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Crispy
the
hot,
line is
integrated. No, I got nothing.
Intel had a press conference and
Integrated processors.
Biden was standing in the background while the Intel CEO gave a speech or something.
Did he
and-
know he was there?
What? I don't know if he knew he was there. No, but
I'm not sure we can say that.
Creating helpful incentives to produce semiconductors.
Oh, they had incentives, all right. So
Oh
helpful,
my
they weren't
God.
allowed to tell us.
Wow. That's a.
So yeah, let's not again. Avoiding the incentives. This is amazing for the Ohio economy. Because imagine being able to go to Micro Center in Columbus and get reject Intel chips for pennies on the dollar. 'cause
Imagine just going to the Micro Center in Columbus,
finding
and they've just got
silicon.
a conveyor belt, right? Just hot off the press. They got ICs flowing into the Micro Center. Just
many cores is this?
yeah.
You know that
I don't know.
that's actually a really good point because if any of you guys like seafood, this is what I'm comparing it to in my head. If you go to like the state of Maine or like California along the beach, seafood is real cheap, and seafood is real easy to come by because you're on the ocean. Duh.
There's a lot of
a lot of
supply
fish.
and not
Yeah.
a lot of demand.
With a semiconductor plant being right there in Columbus adjacent.
Just call it Columbus.
Yeah,
man.
just call it Columbus. It's going to be a lot easier and probably cheaper to get semiconductors because you have to think you're always paying for shipping prices. You're paying for...
Dude, AMD's not going to be able to compete.
Yeah, AMD is not going to be able to compete in Ohio.
And an interesting point about that I guess I have personal experience with is, as somebody who works in the business of acquiring parts, we will often, to meet our own deadlines internally, pay for that extra shipping to ship something rapidly via air or whatever it takes,
Yeah, man,
which
you
is
send
a
the
lot
intern-
of money.
You just send the intern to drive down to Columbus and pick up some chips at the Intel fab. Duh.
Right, so it might actually be reasonable to assume, I mean, you joke, but it might be reasonable to assume that it would be cheaper to pay somebody to go pick things up than to...
Directly from Intel. Like
Right,
literally.
directly from 2 hours on the highway or whatever it
Yeah,
ends
exactly.
up being,
That's
then
why
to
you
try
send
to
the
next
interns
day
down
air.
to pick up the. Yeah, exactly.
So-
it's cheaper to pay the intern to do that and the mileage on their car.
It'll
than
be
to ship it
interesting.
FedEx.
This
Yeah.
goes back
be
to
interesting.
a previous podcast where I was talking about I was saying that, hey, like Ohio and Texas are the two new Silicon Valleys. And now I am no longer in the camp that's going to be Ohio and Texas. Since Intel did this, I am in the camp that Ohio will be the next Silicon Valley. I really think that. Now,
Do
from
we
a,
want that?
They're building.
do we
No,
want that?
no.
I don't know.
They're building more fabs in Texas and Arizona, though.
Are they building? So Ohio is not the only place.
Ohio is
that got fabs,
not the only place.
but
that's getting
Ohio got the
fabs.
biggest fab.
Yes.
To be fair, Arizona and Texas is a little hard to come by water down there. So
Well, that's the reason they built the fab in Ohio.
yeah.
I
Worst
would
case
say.
scenario, they
Right,
could probably
Lake Erie
build a
is-
pipeline to Lake Erie.
I think I looked it up. I think the Great Lakes are 6 quadrillion gallons. It's something like 3,000 years at the 5 million gallons a day that they're using water at to fully drain the Great Lakes.
Hey, if you drain all the water in the Great Lakes, it won't be as polluted.
So there's one big concern with
Yeah,
this
that'll
fab.
fix the zebra mussels.
Semiconductor
throw
plants
them
are
back.
not known for anything involving silicon, I should say, is not known for being a clean manufacturing
Oh,
process.
it's not.
I mean,
So-
what manufacturing is clean? What
That's
company's
fair,
not evil?
but I
Did you
mean, like,
know
this
that-
is like the most, one of the most polluting types of manufacturing.
Yes.
Modern manufacturing.
Some of the dopants used in silicon are arsenic.
Yeah, and the reason why, like, for example, I think one of the main components in solar panels is silicon as well.
That is
Yes.
correct, yes.
And that's why silicon is so, like, that's why solar panel manufacturing, while the solar panel itself is not bad for the environment, the manufacturing of it is because of how much pollutants it puts out.
Yo, man, I can't wait to get those cheap Ohio-based solar panels for my house in Ohio, where we see the sun 3 times a year.
Slightly better than London, I guess.
Yeah, they don't.
I
see the
really-
sun at all.
I-
How's the
like-
rain going?
Warm and wet as well.
Have you ever seen the rain?
Have you ever seen the sun, guys?
No, they
Yes,
haven't.
John Fogerty, we have.
All right. Well, that's about all. That's about all I have to
it's a
say
miss for
about
some of
like.
us.
I think it's good for the industry. I think it's good for Ohio. It's going to be good for our local economy.
As a gamer, I'm excited because I want cheap hardware.
cheap graphics cards from Intel.
This
Well,
episode
if
brought
they
to you
ever
by
come out.
this 980. That's it.
It's
Yeah.
not doing any of the rendering, man. I
Actually-
don't know what you're talking about.
Why don't we
display
try and get
piece.
sponsored by the local Intel?
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to sponsor 4 idiots talking around a table.
Well,
Yeah,
I've heard it only
definitely.
takes $2 billion to get some kind of partnership with them.
We just need a small loan.
Yeah.
a small loan of $2 billion. Absolutely. I think we can do this.
All right. So since I took over with the main topic, do you guys have any other topics to discuss immediately?
I have a general question for you guys.
Sure.
Lay it on us.
Lay it on me.
This
yes.
is kind of more of a theoretical question. Have you guys ever experienced something that you just simply cannot explain?
That's a good question.
Like you literally are looking at it and you can't explain what's going
My
on.
bugs in my code.
Graphics cards for under 3 times MSRP. All right, I'll stop.
So
Yeah.
I was driving past the airport, and there was a plane. It was yellow, so it was Spirit. I do not like Spirit. I will just say that right out.
Nobody
pretty
does.
sure
The
that's pretty
budget. They're the
common.
budget airline of budget airlines.
there goes that sponsorship.
Casual Coders, sponsored by Spirit Airlines. Yeah.
I
Do
think
you
he
have
means-
back problems?
They're the Dollar
Do you want some?
They're the Dollar General brand of the Great Value brand.
That's why they're yellow, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
Dollar
anyway,
they're on
General.
clearance.
You saw a yellow plane.
And it was just hovering above a Walmart. It must have been like, I don't exactly remember the term
You know,
for
there
it.
was
but
a wind gust advisory last week, right?
It literally was staying still.
I mean, if there's 400-mile-an-hour headwinds, the plane's not gonna move.
What was
What-
the
Where
What-
are you
where-
seeing 400
Yeah.
mile an hour headwinds?
fucking red spot on Jupiter.
what was the angle that you were looking at it from?
That also comes into play.
Yeah, what's that called? The parallax effect? Where it's
It
like
is
That's
the
what it
parallax
was. That's
effect.
what it was.
Yeah.
It was going sideways, and I was going
the
this
opposite
way.
direction.
That's a
So-
pretty crazy angle.
Yeah.
Roughly. They were going to the airport, yeah, obviously, but I was driving south under the Hall of Fame bridge.
I mean, how long did you look at it if you were driving
I was
south?
looking at it for a good 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
And then I saw it again driving up to Kent.
Just sitting
Was it
there
following
in the
you?
air?
Were you?
It was a
moving?
different plane the second time, but
So,
I
yeah,
was
it could
moving.
Just been a parallax effect.
I was
Just-
moving,
I'm-
but it's one of those things where I'm sitting there thinking, like, did I just witness a glitch in the fucking Matrix?
And then you stared at it for another 14 minutes and 58 seconds.
yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. I'd have to see it myself. We'll go on over.
I wish I would have taken a video, but I took a picture, and a picture's not gonna really do
No.
much
It's not
justice.
moving.
Oh my God! It's not moving.
What?
Whoa.
But I swear by the fact that I did not witness it move.
See, this is an effect that I get a lot when I write some code and it's not working, and then I take a break and I come back to it and I hit run and it fucking works for no apparent reason.
I mean, yeah, humans are pretty good at like psyching yourselves out and trying to believe something that actually doesn't exist. So,
I know it's the right name of the function. I know I've used it 3 times, and the rest of the function it works every other time.
oh my God, there's
Oops,
an
I
extra U
misspelled
in
the
there.
variable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, but I don't know. Since I've been working a lot with like crypto and stuff, and I'm gonna bring up crypto 2 more times.
Welcome
in
to
this
the
podcast.
Crypto Podcast number 2.
Well, okay, I'm gonna bring it up twice, and this is something. Well, I also have a few other topics. Anyway, but one of the things that I was told about is that with how crypto works, when you have your code, you have to get it vetted by like a security company before you can actually deploy it.
That makes sense.
And when I say
Yeah.
like vetted, I mean like you pay these security companies like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they will test your code for 2 months straight.
Oh, so that's how it's a scam.
Because the reason why is that this is money we're talking about. This is money that's got
Real
public
money.
code. Yeah,
You probably
Yeah.
don't pay them in crypto.
no, you pay them real money.
Yeah, here's these 5 freshly minted Bitcoin for you. Yeah.
Right from my own
But they
blockchain.
have
My
to,
own
like-
blockchain.
They have to like verify your code for like a month, and like I'm a little concerned because if we get to that stage and I'm just sitting around for it, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Just wait for a month while they try
Pray.
to fix my code?
Yes.
Pray? Work on something else for that month? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like 18
Where's your God
startups,
now,
man.
boy?
I'm pretty sure you could figure something
Yeah,
out.
you'll
for the
stay
month.
busy.
You'll stay busy.
It's okay. I'm about to make a 6. So,
Bro, you've got a problem. You actually
hey,
have a
I
problem.
only need one of them to succeed.
Little do you know, this wasn't a podcast. This was an intervention.
We're worried about you.
We're worried about you, Chandler.
All right. Well,
Cutting you off. No more startups. You're
no
being
more projects. No more
being-
Git repos.
you're being
not
ex-
allowed.
You're being expelled from Casual Coders.
Oh, no.
You remember
out.
your GitHub account? We made sure it got terminated.
Aw. But all my codes on. No. All right.
Turn in your mouse and your keyboard.
You're fired.
And your NFT badge. All right.
Oh,
so
no. Oh, no.
speaking of NFTs, Ubisoft has pissed off the gaming community
Oh.
with NFTs.
What else is new?
What else is new? Yeah.
Another day and
Another day, another
the
NFT.
One of the Ubisoft executives announced that they're gonna make games with NFTs in them. Okay, and everyone got upset. And you know what the Ubisoft representative said, or the CEO said? They just don't understand. And I'm like, what? That is not a response.
it's like when Blizzard, was it Blizzard when they were like, what, don't you guys have phones when they did that mobile game?
I think it was Blizzard. Yeah, I think it was one of the Diablo
they just doubled
spin-offs.
down. They're like, no, we're right. It's the audience who's wrong. Okay.
We had a DLC to our game.
They're like
Audience outrage. It's okay. They'll still buy it.
They said, this is what the Ubisoft rep said. The Ubisoft said, angry gamers don't understand why NFTs are important.
No, I'm pretty sure I understand why they're not important.
I do understand fully why I don't care.
That's called,
So here's
that's
the
called
thing.
bad
I fully
PR.
understand NFTs, and I'm not opposed to them. What I am opposed to is major corporations trying to push them as the next big scheme to give people their money. I
It's
am
as if
perfectly
their only motive is profit.
Well,
Whoa,
yeah,
that's
but
a really foreign concept.
it's annoying because I think
is annoying,
NFTs as a concept are not the problem. The concept is people abusing it, and yes, you can say that about basically anything.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah, you can say that about anything.
You
Isn't
make
it like,
a persuasive argument, Chandler.
Yeah.
aren't there more people abusing NFTs now than like other things?
Well,
though?
even like
I mean, don't most people agree that today the majority of like the famous art trade is all
Isn't
just
really
kind of
worth
like
Money
a
laundering?
scam and a grift? And yeah, it's kind of in that same vein. There's nothing wrong with art, but people who are insanely wealthy who use it to
Show
launder
off
money,
their
get
wealth.
around
cover up
taxes.
lots of money,
Yeah.
right?
So-
So I don't think they're gonna ruin it. I don't think for us schmucks who go to Target and say, "Oh my God, this looks beautiful," and it's $15, it's really gonna bring the dining room together. I don't think it's gonna ruin NFTs, but I definitely know it's going to bother people.
Yeah,
and all
man,
the
it just makes your
companies are
dining
just-
room easier to decorate because you go and download someone's
let me-
NFT and you
let me
print
put
it
an
out,
NFT
and there
in
you
my-
go. Now you own one.
Perfect.
Well, okay, so that's not how it works. But
It's just a counter
Dude, an
argument.
NFT is
Could've
just a
fooled
link
me.
to a Google Drive document or something.
no, an NFT
It just
is a
links to
is
the
a digital.
source.
Basically, what an NFT is that it's a digital. You have a Bitcoin wallet or some sort of cryptocurrency wallet, right? And all it is saying in the blockchain that you own something.
And
Yeah,
it's
and I
all
believe
it is.
non-fungible.
if I'm not mistaken,
Non-fungible.
they also usually link to the NFTs. So you just
They
find
do.
the receipt and
But here's the thing.
download the picture.
The NFT is not the picture. The NFT is the thing that
Yes,
says
right.
you own
The
the
NFT
picture.
It's
is
the proof of
is
ownership.
the proof of ownership.
And that's the thing.
But
People
it
have
links
talked about
to the photo.
People have talked about like government agencies instead of giving titles, just using a blockchain and giving your car title as an NFT.
Thanks, I hate it.
But here's the thing: NFTs don't have to be digital goods. They could be a physical item, and that's the use case.
Yeah,
that
like
I
a
would
car
rather see
title
being
printed
used.
in paper. Oh my God!
I mean,
it's a
now you could-
non-fungible slip of paper.
You could
My
argue that's
car
basically
title.
what that is,
That's
right?
already what we have, Chandler.
Well, some people believe in having a fully digital world. I don't necessarily believe in it. It's just an idea I'm throwing out. But like,
I'd rather not have a fully digital world. It's pretty easy to lose.
You wanna
data
go in your
fast.
log
It's a
cabin
little bit
and-
more difficult to lose a slip of paper.
tinfoil
lodge.
hat.
Yeah.
Are you
Yes.
dissing my boys' metaverse?
I am dissing
Oh,
your
fuck
boys.
the meta.
man.
All right,
All
let's
the
get
metaverse
started on the
is-
metaverse.
Is an overhyped VR chat clone.
Yeah, it's a VR chat
That's
clone.
all it is. And when I heard
Well, it's
that,
a
like,
VR chat clone where the Zuck owns everything. And
When I
and
heard that
owns
people
you.
are buying real estate in his stupid effing
People
VR
aren't
chat
buying
thing,
real estate. Overly wealthy corporations and celebrities are buying real estate.
Oh
'cause
well, then
they
in that
think-
case, it's fine.
They think that it matters.
It doesn't.
Somebody is scamming them good.
Zuckerberg, you are a fucking genius, and I hate you.
Yeah, dang. I wish I had come up with the metaverse.
No, he's a sleaze bag that knows what he's doing.
Fucking lizard man.
Man, we're gonna
All
have to
right.
send
He's
this
the
to him
lizard
and see what he
king.
thinks.
The
Why do I
lizard
associate
king.
with this podcast?
It's okay. I wouldn't want to work for Facebook anyway.
Yeah, neither would I.
Yeah, but
Google, on the other hand, please employ me.
Yeah, but
I
think
love
Google
Alphabet.
company-
Google, employ me. I have some better fucking ideas for your phones.
Hey,
Likewise, making them not crack in the fucking cold.
listen.
Oh yeah, Quentin, want to tell about
Oh,
that
boy.
your review of the Pixel 6's
Oh,
cold
they're already
problem?
at 6, are they?
So the Pixel 6 Pro, great phone, horrible in the cold. I had my phone sitting in my work van all day Wednesday. All day. I didn't want to break it because we were doing an install. I walk out and there's a fucking crack on the screen that was not there that morning. So I threw it in a beanie to try and keep it a little bit warmer while it stayed in the van. Another crack formed.
Should have mined crypto on it.
Oh, then fucking Verizon and Asurion, fuck both of you, by the way.
Man, it sounds
Told-
like a Windows XP crash in here.
They
Yeah,
telling
that
me
it does.
that I have to pay for something that so I already pay for your insurance, and you're making me pay another $230 to try and get my phone fixed. Fuck off.
So I have Google Care on my phone since I bought my phone directly from Google. And yes, it is just an Apple Care knockoff. And they only charge you $50 to replace your phone if you break it.
How is Google Fi?
I don't have Google Fi. You don't have to have Google Fi to have Google
What
Care.
if? What if?
Oh,
Hear me
okay.
out.
Yeah.
What if you
but
just buy a
but,
cheap
but the
phone?
rule is you do have to buy the phone from Google. So next time you buy a Pixel, if you buy it from Google, you can get Google Care on it.
I mean, I didn't ask for this phone, and AT&T gave it to me for free.
You paid for it still.
I mean, my brother pays for it, so they sent it to him. It's fine. Am I the most positively, like, do I have the best image of AT&T for just being like, they kind of suck? It sounds like I'm the one who hates the mobile people the least, and
Their
I hate
home
them
internet
just
is garbage,
enough.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not that I actually try to avoid using those big carriers. I try to go with the little guys like Visible. I used to have Mint. I considered using Ting. Like,
So you've gone through quite a few of them, though, yeah?
He just sort of carrier hops whenever he feels like it.
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing. I'd rather carrier hop to get the lowest price. I would rather have that ability. That's also why
It's
I
like
to be
shopping
said
for
for that.
insurance.
Exactly. I bought, well, insurance is a little more risky there. But so what happened was I was originally on Mint, but the problem with Mint is that I didn't have unlimited data and I wanted unlimited data for my job. So I switched to Visible, which has unlimited data, but the unlimited data when you connect your hotspot is limited to 5 megabit. It works fine for browsing and doing small Git commits. But the second you try to watch a YouTube video, it's at like 360p, and that's as best as you're gonna get.
5 megabit garbage. I get 8 megabit on a good day.
Well, that's
All
the thing.
right,
When I'm
listen.
not on the hotspot, I get like 100 meg, no problem, because it's through Verizon cell towers.
Let me run a speed test right now.
I'm in your basement. I'm not gonna get.
I get good
reception.
speeds on Wi-Fi.
And then like really like the idea of Mint, where they give you a discount for paying upfront in bulk, where you like buy a prepaid for like 6 months, and they give you like $15 a month for that 6 months.
So it's like a trap phone, but you keep your phone and just switch the SIM card every
Yeah.
time? Interesting.
And then the other Ting is Ting is old fashioned. You pay by the minute.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
I should use that. I never make phone calls.
Hey, it's free.
They
in
said
that
the base price is $5 a month just for the SIM card.
Call him back after 9 p.m.
But my dad says I'm going to my dad's house tomorrow, and I'm going to talk. He says that he'll pay for my phone since he pays for my brother's phone, so I'm probably going to do that.
Like that.
All right, my download is 11 megabit. It's higher than I expected. Or sorry, 17. Higher than I expected.
What
but still.
carrier do you have?
Bloatware zone.
Oh,
I'm guessing I don't get
It's
signal in
Verizon.
your basement.
yeah. I know.
It's
Verizon likes
also
to put
in my basement, but yes.
Yeah, when I had Ting though, it was really weird because I put in my Ting SIM card and my phone came up T-Mobile, and I'm like, that's not what I have.
See, that's what I figured. I mean, isn't this just the illusion of choice anyway? Like, you're all still
well, you
using
still
the same
using
network.
I don't
same
care if it's the
towers.
illusion of choice if it's cheaper.
You just care about how much it costs a month?
Yeah.
And then what, I guess, drawbacks are in each plan? That's what it
Well, yeah,
seems
that's what I
like.
kind of look at, and if the cost is less than in my opinion, so it's cheap. Okay, there's a few drawbacks, but it's cheap enough that I don't care. Then I'll go with that. So, for example, Ting is pretty Ting is pretty reasonably priced if you don't make a lot of phone calls, if you don't use a lot of data.
Why does speed test need to make phone calls for me?
Oh yeah, you want to discuss stupid app permissions? Is that something you want to discuss?
Stupid app permissions. Let's start about it. You know,
That's a
what's up
strange
with
one.
that? Yeah.
Why does Angry Birds need to make
Speed
phone
test
calls?
by-
Yeah, why does Angry Birds need access to my contacts? What the fuck?
It's for their inbuilt leaderboards, obviously. They couldn't possibly be data mining. No.
I'm going to deny it and see what happens.
You're not allowed to use our application. Goodbye.
I've heard a lot of them are just the developers enable all permissions in development and they just forget to turn them off.
So they're asking it because they want
Do you
to
want a cookie?
periodically check mobile coverage, quality, and location data, even when the app is closed or not in use. And I'd be
So they're data
contributing to a
mining.
global
Tracking.
effort
Literally
to map
data
the
mining.
most comprehensive view of operator coverage.
No.
I don't want that now.
No.
Well, looks like the table says no.
Sorry, you're not allowed to use this application. Goodbye.
You have been voted off of the island.
This is way too long of a privacy policy for something that's just supposed to check my
That's why I
ping
use
test.
fast.com usually. There is no privacy policy. You just hit go and it works.
But fast.com is capped to like 200 meg.
It's weird because it's capped at
Wow.
200 megs on my internet, and then I got
Impressive.
2 gigabit at my school.
Oh, am I on your Wi-Fi? I'm sorry. I'm
It's
on your
weird.
Wi-Fi.
That's really
It's
bad
really
for my
weird.
Wi-Fi then.
But fast.
It used to-
So
it used to be
fast.com is owned
Yeah,
by
I need
Netflix. Did
better
you know
weather.
that?
Yeah, no, I know that. It used
Yeah.
to be.
I mean, it's literally
Maybe it's
branded.
been a
It's
while
powered
since
by
I've used it.
Netflix. I
Here,
don't-
wait. Let me fast.com. I'm gonna go to my laptop right now.
Well, I guess I'll just let it finish.
I'm on Ian's. I'm
you
on
supposed to
Ian's
get 10
Wi-Fi,
up?
so we'll see if this works.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's really bad. I
Do you
really
ever
want
think we'll do
Spectrum
more
to.
than that?
I'm on your
I hope.
2.4 gigahertz network, and
I
I'm
just
getting
want
about
Spectrum
30.
to do actually good uploads. I think their 1
Oh,
gigabit
dude,
plan
I will
has a
fucking
40 megabit
upload.
upload. It's so bad. It's
Oh my gosh!
so
When I
bad.
have to upload videos, dude, it takes like days because of how bad my upload is.
I'm the one who edits and uploads this podcast.
Well, when I work,
know.
I also work on like Twitch stuff, so yeah, that has the same thing with me too. I have the same problem.
Let's try again.
At least it's not 4K.
Yeah, it's not because Twitch only allows 1080p.
Bro, what? I'm still getting 30 down on mobile. That's pretty surprising.
You know, that's really depressing, I must say.
When I was in Orlando a few weeks ago, dude, I got like gigabit speeds on my phone. It was so
Oh
nice.
man, look at this guy on the 5G towers. Oh man, get your
my phone,
tinfoil
dude,
hats.
my phone doesn't even have ultra wideband on it though.
Circle back to the first podcast. Did you see any trees that were dressed as see any
In Disney,
5G
yes,
towers?
I did. I did see
5G
one.
towers
Yeah,
that were
I
dressed
saw
as
a few in
trees.
Disney,
Worth my
yeah.
upload speed is in kilobits per second. So that's
Did you have to wear your
fine.
hazmat suit when walking by?
Ouch.
780 kilobit per second.
With how people
Okay.
are, I considered it.
You could totally upload a YouTube video on that over
How
the
long
course
would
of
that
5
take?
days.
Yeah.
5 to 7
Tolerable.
business days.
Yeah, right. In 5 to 7 business days, the next podcast episode will be up.
Oh, remember when we talked about the Log4j vulnerability?
What is
Yeah.
there a new one?
There's a new one. It's on NPM.
How many do you think they have every week? A
Yes.
lot, right? Well, nobody's updating Java to fix bugs. They're doing it to fix all the security vulnerabilities.
Well, okay,
that pop
so this
up
is
every
what
day.
happened with this. So the headline is JavaScript Dev deliberately screws up own popular NPM package to make a point. So this guy was literally fucking up his own code just to make a point and prove that, hey, you guys need to start doing something about your NPM security.
Something to be said for that.
And what happened was it was Faker.js and Colors.js, and he embedded harmless. It didn't do anything to your computer, but it was malware and it was detectable by most antivirus softwares.
How?
I don't know.
Did they just how do they get a signature from something that's malware, but then not? I mean, isn't that just like a hash? He had to put something in
He
there,
put
right?
something in there just so that way it would be detected, but didn't actually do anything
Probably a
malicious.
pre-known hash of some form, or I don't know.
But he did that, and then what happened was that there was a huge fuss on NPM and oh my gosh, we got to start doing security better. We got to figure out a way. Because think about it, there are the classic XKCD comic of the massive tower, and there's just this little tiny block that's maintained by some random dude in Nebraska. That the second that
Right.
collapses, all of the rest of the stuff collapses.
It's a small 3-meter vulnerability in this large, not a moon.
Yeah, like a former job that I worked at whenever I was auditing the NPM packages, and we had 450 severe vulnerabilities.
Hey, we cut it down to only 1 critical and 5 severe.
Only 5 severe.
Well, I was
vulns.
I literally brought it up with my boss whenever I worked with Alex, and dude, this is a security hole, and he's like, okay,
That's
like
fine,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the projects.
man.
I will say I'm at liberty to at least briefly mention that there's a whole project and maybe some new hires that are going to be working exclusively on cybersecurity, which is a great, segue into how that as a field is at least finally gaining some recognition
I
in
know
the
a
field.
good number of people who are, majoring in cybersec.
There were a lot of them at the career fair last time I checked.
I'm
Are you
going to
hiring anybody that doesn't have any cybersecurity spirits?
need an intern.
Probably.
Need an intern?
What do you want to do?
Yes.
You want to press a button all day? We got lots of positions for that.
Sure.
All right.
Quentin takes a new position as a robot on the production line.
We actually did have a guy who went from production to the corporate, didn't we?
Yep.
Was it? Yeah.
Moving on up.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
so-
good. That's how it
So
goes.
all it really did was that it printed. So all this hack did was just print the console, the word liberty multiple times as to the console, just to piss someone off.
Oh
Now
man,
damn
like
thing's
that
stuck in my
insurance
head.
company. I don't know.
Liberty? No, wait.
No,
Okay, so-
I was just trying to put it in your head without you actively saying it.
As soon as he
Tyler.
said liberty twice, I was like, oh God.
So yeah, but apparently everyone started freaking out about it, and there was a huge push about so if you look at this, I heard this on another podcast. So if you look at the amount of money that's put into software developers around the world and the amount of money that's put into open source development, it is multiple orders of magnitude more that just random developers and general software development are paid versus the amount of money that gets put into open source.
I mean, yeah.
So
Makes sense.
There's about 20 million developers in this world, okay? And roughly about $1 trillion a year. 1/70th of the world economy is spent on these software developers.
Nice.
And you know how much money is put into open source?
$2.
$2 to $3 million.
Yeah, $2.
$2 to $3 million.
Closest without going
Definitely
over.
12.
$12. But think about that. That is such a huge. That is orders of magnitude. Like you can fit $1 million on this desk if it was $100 bills. You definitely could not fit $1 trillion in this house if it was $100 bills.
Not with that attitude.
How good are you at Tetris?
Man, you can fit those in if you burn them all and turn them to ash.
Perfect. Or
Some
if
men
it's
just want to watch the
crypto,
world
all
burn.
right.
If it was crypto, oh no.
Yeah, man, it'll all fit on a single flash drive. It's all good.
Yeah.
It would, but yeah. But no, it was like it's like brought up a bunch of like security like points. I guess this guy really wanted to make a point. And he did. Like it made headlines. It made headlines on the news, the mainstream news.
OpenPilot is an open source project.
Well, the problem. Okay, so OpenPilot's not a problem because most of their dependencies they wrote themselves.
I mean,
they
yeah.
have people working on their dependencies actively.
Sure, but
the
what if
problem
one of them is
is
malicious?
developers like me who said, someone's already done this. npm install.
Yeah, what is
Like-
it? Isn't there the is odd or is even function that somebody wrote that people still use? And it's
I don't
like-
know why because it's
a
built
package
in now.
That just is one line of code, basically. It's sad. There's like thousands, tens of thousands that use it.
Dude, I have a
that
basic
super
React
easy to
project.
run, just like
So
if
easy.
thing modulo.
It's just modulo 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, some
It's-
people
it's
don't know
the-
how to do that.
Well, everyone was talking about how
I
it's
mean,
like
I guess it's rather complex.
npm is
yeah.
both a
JavaScript.
massive treasure trove of code, but it's also a minefield for new developers because
Yeah.
rather than trying to do it themselves, they just try to find a package somebody else did. And I'm
I'm
like,
totally not guilty of that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how many
No,
packages
couldn't
we
possibly.
have at work. It's
I
kinda
just do
sad.
dumb things.
Some of them, I mean, aren't even necessary anymore.
Yo,
how many
look
are
at this logging
deprecated?
package. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we
Install.
had
Log for
loggers.
JS? No.
Well, was Winston affected, or what's the one that we used? I think we used something else before Winston, but
I
a
don't remember what we
run-of-the-mill
used.
log.
I
Logger.
wouldn't know. I didn't work there.
fair enough.
I don't know what we used. I didn't pay attention, if I'm honest. So
Well, nobody
Yeah, man,
else
he
did
just showed
either.
up and fixed 3D printers.
I did actually do that. That's a good story. I ended up I met Kyle about a year ago, and before that, about a year before then, one of my coworkers brought in a bunch of 3D printers that needed fixed.
Yeah.
And I went through and I fixed all the 3D printers for him, and then he sold all of them within a day. He sold one to our friend Sarah. He sold one to Kyle, which is my friend Bridger picked up, and then we sold one to one of the corporate employees. And then Sarah took hers home and she still uses it. And then Bridger took the other one to Kyle. I didn't know that Kyle was the Kyle who was my boss for about 6 to 8 months. Until me and Kyle mentioned, oh, yeah, I have a 3D printer too. And I go, what do you have? And he said, oh, it's an Ender 3.
Ender 3.
And then I go, where'd you get it from? Oh, Bridger got it for me from
Nice.
because he knew I knew Bridger. And I'm like, wait a second. Those are the 3D printers that I fixed. That's one of the ones that I fixed. And he goes, really? You're the one that made the custom firmware? And I go, yeah, I am. I'm the one that
of
wrote
open
and
source.
maintained like a little fork of Marlin that I ran on the 3D printers, which it still runs to this day, I'm pretty sure.
Not bad.
It still works. You never had to update it, so all I did was change the configuration file. I'm not going to take credit for rewriting all the C code.
You did what someone else couldn't.
Yeah, I did what someone
enough.
else
Or
needed to
didn't.
do. Yeah,
Well.
it was a fun story about how I tangentially met Kyle.
So if we're on industry, do we wanna start the screw debate?
All right, let's talk
Screw
about
debate.
it.
I'm not going to be involved in this because it's kind of boring. But anyway,
Phillips
continue.
said Phillips is superior.
Phillips
it's
sucks
not.
ass.
Whoa.
I'm going to fight you on that one. I don't like Phillips. It strips too
Everyone
easily.
here is ready to fight because everyone here hates Phillips. It strips so easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan
Coming-
of Phillips. I gotta say, it's just above Flathead, which is to this day the worst. Screw
All right.
that's ever been
I gotta
created.
jump in here. Flathead's not an actual type of screw, or is not a type of screw.
Actually, it's not
It's
called
a
Flathead.
Yes, it's a style of screw, a flathead screw. The actual bit is called a standard head screw. It's not a flathead.
Well,
you
then
learn
we
about
got
that
the
the
wrong
type-
standard.
is like the shape of the screw.
I'm gonna pull
Welcome
this
to casual
card.
mechanical engineering.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull this card. I use this stuff regularly.
Yeah, everybody who actually works with flathead screws doesn't call them standard. I guarantee that.
Oh, I'm well aware of that.
Flathead sucks unless you're actually like using it to connect to a circuit board.
They're
Because you can
okay.
get more torque onto the wire using a standard. Believe it or not, you can. Phillips is the best for like actually,
Like screw terminals.
Yeah, screw
Put a
terminals.
flathead in there, and it's sort of bounded and constrained anyway.
I'm kind of with Alex.
I don't
here.
think
I'm
I've
kind of
ever
confused.
seen all the power supplies, everything that has terminals on it, like even our heat wires, like they all have Phillips head.
Yeah, they have standard and Phillips. You can use either.
Yeah.
Stop calling it standard.
Okay, they're Flathead or Phillips. You can use them both.
Notch
both
head.
ways.
I guess
you
you're right.
happy?
Yeah, they got. So what's the name of the one that's a hybrid? It's got the standard and it's got the plus.
The
and
ones that are on all the motherboards for PCs.
Yeah, the ones that are just like, well, you could use whatever. You could use
call
like
them
a
standoffs.
file or
Well,
any
no, I don't
flat
know.
object.
They've got
However,
a name.
though-
I know that. I just don't know what it is.
However,
off the top of
though,
my head.
Torx bits
So
are great.
good.
Great for actually like screwing wood together.
Electronics?
Yes.
They're great for anything.
They're great.
They are
They
very
are
good.
pretty good. But I don't like how it literally just almost seemingly overnight, just everything switched to Torx.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even buy the regular old wood screws anymore, right? They're all basically the Torx one. At least
Yep.
they come with a bit, but I don't know how many millions of those bits are just sitting around
Way
in drawers
too
in
many.
people's basements and they forgot about them. But
So
yeah,
Just like
I-
a 10mm socket.
I
Yeah.
recently learned that there's Torx Plus, and it's such a good innovation.
What?
But it's closed
I gotta Google
source.
this now. Torx.
Torx Plus, instead of having rounded edges, it's squares. So it's 6 square points. It's harder to round off that bit than a normal Torx bit. Because the issue I have with Torx, they're great above like T8 size. If they're T6 and below, I'd rather have a hex head because it's so easy to round over a tiny little Torx. Yeah, they're awesome.
we have a reference.
Look
image,
at that.
if anyone-
Yeah, I'm looking at them on McMaster right now. They're
Oh,
kind of
that's the
expensive.
Imperial symbol from Star Wars.
yeah, just like,
Yeah, but no, it's awesome because you see it's harder to round over those edges.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've never noticed.
And then
the
I'm sure you've
difference.
got security
Wait,
Torx
Torx Plus,
You
though,
can't
it's
purchase
proprietary?
Torx Plus. Yeah, you cannot purchase Torx Plus. It's proprietary, which is really unfortunate.
Well, you can
Interesting.
purchase bits for it.
we
McMaster
couldn't
sells
find them on Amazon.
McMaster sells them.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
They have Torx Plus bits on McMaster.
Can you find the bolts themselves though?
Yeah, I guess that's the question.
That's
Yeah.
the question.
Somebody's got to.
I was unable to find bolts on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, let me look at Torx. I'm gonna look at Torx Plus.
Because I totally would have switched to
Torx
those.
Plus sits. Ally Torx Flathead. Torx. I'm trying to see if there's Torx Plus on.
What a yes.
I don't see any Torx Plus hardware on McMaster, but I do
Yep.
see the bits on McMaster.
We
Yeah.
should just switch to all the bolts that are those security bit they use in the public restrooms that you can only tighten them, but you can't loosen them because they like
They have the cutouts
Oh, they have
on
the
them.
weird. Yes.
yeah they ramp
Like
back
the
up.
ramp.
So to
Yeah.
get them out, you have to use like one of those whenever you strip a screw, one of those kits to
Yeah,
get
you
them
basically
out.
like drill them out or
easy out.
use
Wait, is
something
that
else.
really?
Yeah, an easy out.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You
That's
could always
awful.
just
I
use a
hate it.
rubber band, I guess.
But I mean, I guess you're putting the restroom together once.
You
Yeah.
Not like you're taking
Unfortunately.
the screws out of your
until
stalls.
a teenager destroys
yeah,
it.
that
like
is
in high
true. Until
school.
some teenager tries
Until
to do pull-ups on the top of the.
Until a teenager rips it out of the wall and uses it to smack another kid.
Well,
That's
this
a
actually
TikTok
happen?
trend, isn't it?
That actually happened
Oh
at my high school.
Wait, someone
Bruh.
ripped a door off the wall. Ripped a door off the stall and beat someone with it.
Yeah.
what?
We came in the next day, all of them were gone, even the stalls.
They just put toilets in the
They just-
fucking bare tile floor.
I did actually
Yeah.
see something like this once at my high school as well. Someone like thrashed a stall for some reason and threw like a binder and a notebook in the toilet for some reason.
High school people are so dumb.
High
So-
school is retarded.
My first high school I went to was like a really old high school, and it didn't have stalls. So it was just
yeah, you got to
brick-
go pee in the outhouse in the woods.
No,
obviously.
it was brick walls in between each of the
Brick
toilets.
walls?
But there was no actual like doors. So one day, as a prank for April Fools, some of the seniors came in and brought a bunch of cardboard boxes in and built stalls around all of the bathrooms as a joke.
That's not a prank. That's a
That's
favor.
not a prank. Yeah, exactly.
I think they only did it to the men's bathroom, but I was really hoping they would like. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
That's genius.
I was hoping that would be like a sign for the school, like, hey, you guys should totally put stalls
Just
in these
duct
damn
tape
rooms.
some pieces of cardboard up.
That's
There you
literally
go,
what they
that's
did.
the
They even
door.
cut a door in it.
Put like those bead chains, like a silly curtain. You
Are
could
you
do
talking
something.
about the first high school you went to?
Yeah, I'm talking about the first high school.
Okay, so we do the inspection. Yeah, those stalls suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he knows what I'm talking about. But they did as a prank. Yeah, they just kind of covered.
That's
Like
kinda
this,
funny. Now that I
prank,
can
they
actually-
improved
At
the
least it's an
infrastructure.
actually funny prank and not, I don't know, some other.
I will say that
dumb
they were
garbage that
like
is
I
a
never in my high
prank.
school they never did any fun pranks. Like it was nothing, it was just whatever. Like one of the high school pranks was they played songs over the PA system for an hour. Like okay, cool, whatever.
That's too long.
I mean,
Were they good songs?
That's not
it
long
was like
enough.
Party in the USA and like
no.
at the
That's-
time popular songs in 2014.
That's when you play D-Bangs, bro.
I wanted them to play something extremely explicit because it was high school. It was Catholic high school.
That's just not even a prank. That's just annoying.
Yeah,
I guess pranks are annoying, right? As long as they're not harmful.
They weren't harmful. It was just annoying. It wasn't even funny. It was like, okay, cool, whatever.
I'm sure it was funny for the first minute, and then it got old for the remaining 59.
Yeah, that'd be pretty long. But whatever.
I don't know. My old high school was weird. My first high school was really weird. I will never torture my kids with Catholic school. All right, so do we got any other topics you guys want to talk about?
Well, I made beer. I don't know if that's an interesting topic.
When can I try it? March.
Beer
kind
takes
is
a
it?
long time.
Yeah, it does.
it's a lime lager. So we,
Okay, I
excited.
want to try.
we acquired a
wanna
number
try that.
of rice
By a lime,
solids
is it like
and
kind of
malt
like
extract.
Ooh.
Is it like? Never mind. I don't know anything
Use
about
your
beer.
words,
I don't know
Chandler.
anything about beer. I'm thinking of Corona, where people stick a lime in Corona.
I mean,
Yes.
Corona is a lager.
It is a lager, but it's not a
Yes.
lime lager. It's just a lager that
I
people
don't
like
know.
to stick lime into.
I
Is
don't
that
know
right,
jack
Quentin?
shit about beer. I just find it fun to make the stuff.
It's just
And drink.
chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On occasion. I don't drink beer all that often.
Yeah, science, bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I find it very fun. You take a big old pot, you put it on the stove, you boil some water, you melt down some sugar in the form of malt extracts or malts, whatever, and then you throw some yeast in there and you make them make some carbon dioxide.
For one of my
Then eventually you get alcohol.
Nice.
For one of my high school chemistry classes, or no, it wasn't chemistry. It was one of my high school science classes, though. We made hard candy, and we brought blue dye so it looked like the meth from Breaking Bad.
Bruh.
Do you remember when
And
I
it-
used to make that stuff?
You were the one that gave me the idea.
Oh,
my
yeah.
Oh, no.
Is this like rock candy where you
Yeah.
like
Where you have to
some
boil
water?
sugar water,
yeah.
and it turns into syrup, and then you have to pour the syrup into like
into
a mold.
a jar with a stick in it, basically.
Well, it wasn't a
and
jar with a
it
stick. We
makes-
just poured it into
yeah.
a pan with covered in wax paper,
Oh, interesting.
and then we just took a hammer, a cleaned hammer, and beat it with it.
Oh,
That's
so you
totally not how I did that.
You weren't
Yeah.
crystallizing it.
Yeah,
you were
we did,
just
like,
boiling it
crystallizing
and
it
then
on a
breaking
stick.
it.
Well, the reason why I think her justification was she was showing us that when the water is watered down, is like mixed with sugar, it will go above the water boiling point. It'll get to like 300 degrees. We were learning about how like state changes work.
Seems reasonable enough, I guess.
So yeah, that was her justification. I think this was the type of teacher who, like, one day for class, we had these fireproof tables in all of the classes. She took a bottle of rubbing alcohol. She said, "Move your notebooks." We took our notebooks off. She threw the rubbing alcohol across the table and lit it on fire right in front of us.
Cool teacher.
Yeah, she was great. It was one of my favorite teachers. I got there's me and this one girl in this class were always competing because her and I were getting really similar grades. Of course, in the end, she beat me out. She got I think she got a 92 in the course, and I got like a 91.5 or something like that. And I'm like, "Come on, can't you round me up?" So I beat her. Like, I just want to. And she's like, "No, I'm not rounding her up. I'm rounding you up." And I'm like, "Damn it!"
Rounds both of you up by the same amount.
Yeah, your high school chemistry teacher was cool, but did yours get arrested?
Oh.
Oh yeah, you got to tell this
All
story.
right.
This is a good story.
I've never heard this story.
This is a good one. I have heard this one a few times from two different people.
Yeah, we both were in the same class. Not necessarily the same class, but okay, my high school chemistry teacher, for legal reasons, I will not say their name,
Good.
but they were distributing illicit drugs
Nice.
to students.
That they made in the high school chemistry lab? Or
That I'm not quite sure of, but
She was synthesizing methamphetamines in the high school.
this here's the school meth lab. Don't worry about it. It's perfectly safe.
But we walk in, and there's just a police officer just sitting there. Just
At the desk.
where's the teacher?
I'm your teacher now.
Yeah, about that. Just use this as a study hall for the day. That's that. No further questions.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Nice.
And then
boy.
they
And then she came back, but they put us on online courses, and the only requirement to be in the online courses was that you had to log hours into it. So you could literally just sit there at the very first one and get an A. Not even
Alright,
answer
then.
it. You didn't have to answer it. You just had to log hours.
Was your teacher like remoting in from prison or something? Or
No, she got out.
oh, okay.
Her family is very wealthy.
I
yeah,
see.
I
Oh,
assume
cool.
her teaching license got very revoked.
She was able to teach the rest of the year, and then she was forcibly resigned.
Interesting.
That's a story and a half.
Never had that problem in my high school. It's one good thing.
A lovely reminder that if the punishment for a crime is just a fine, it's only a crime for the lower class.
Factual.
More politics, but also very true.
Sag. Well, what's next on the list? We talked about screws. We've talked about crypto.
We talked about NFTs.
We've avoided geopolitical conflicts. What are we getting into next?
I'm looking through my topic list and I don't see anything that I want to talk about. So if you guys have anything else fun to talk about, I might have to take a hard cut and continue.
Do you like talking about electronics?
Well, that's fine, yeah.
All right, well, I finally upgraded with how I use electronics, and I'm no longer buying development boards, or at least
Oh, you're going to
in
be
the
one
next
of the...
month.
I know someone who's like that. And always like, no, you just got to go straight for the PCB and stuff. I'm like, but what if it doesn't work? And he's like, you got to make it work. That's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
I'm
that's
like-
what you did.
I did do that once,
That's
and then the
exact-
project never materialized after that.
I
so.
still find those boards at every once in a while where I'll see like
You'll see one of my boards lying
I'll be
around.
cleaning out a box and I'll be like, is this that Rev A of that board Chandler made? And I'll like look and I'll notice that one place where you had a trace overlap and I'm like, oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, it kind of caught on fire while I was testing it.
You had a trace overlap?
We had a thermal event.
That's such a good way to say
well, no,
he
okay,
fucked
so
up and
Bridger
caught
fixed
fire.
it. Bridger, I gave it to Bridger, and I'm like,
cut the
Bridger, can
trace.
you
Yeah,
fix
you cut
this?
the trace with an
Bridger
X-Acto
could
knife.
That's what
anything.
Bridger did. Bridger scraped off all of the layers, and it did, and then I put it together, and then it still caught fire.
Rip.
No, literally, we plugged it in, and it worked for about 3 seconds, and then all we heard was a loud hissing noise, and I saw sparking coming off the board.
Did you try throwing it in rice?
Too many amps. Just too many amps.
Yeah, we were trying to put 12 amps through a 3 amp transistor.
Hot.
Why do you not read data sheets?
I blame Ian. It was his fault.
How much of this shit am I gonna have to censor, man?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, cool. We're
I'm
censoring
okay with
names
calling his
and-
bullshit out, though. It was his fault. Ian,
Yeah.
you're a great engineer, but why'd you
You'll
do that
call
to
his
me?
Okay, but anyway, I mean, it's not that hard, I say, as I've spent hours staring at a single data sheet wondering how the fuck I'm gonna impedance match an RF antenna and how I'm even gonna draw one of those.
Okay, can you explain
Then
to me?
I've had to figure out that I need a crystal oscillator. Oh.
Okay, one
nice.
of the data sheets you sent in the chat had an imaginary impedance value, and that's
Yes,
the one
sir.
thing from circuits that I just couldn't grasp.
I'm so glad I didn't have to take those classes.
All right, so
Imaginary.
it
Impedance.
corresponds to phase. It's the angle, because as you add that imaginary component, if you have 2 sine waves on an oscilloscope, if you add an imaginary value, you shift those sine waves between each other. And so, to maximize power, you have to apply an offset using phase correction or impedance matching. So you have to figure out the right value to match those sine waves together effectively and to give yourself the maximum power, because you want to radiate the most power you possibly can from your antenna. Otherwise, you're taking losses and your wireless antenna is a garbage wireless antenna. So you have to match them together. There's some pain. I have to figure it out. I have to run way too many calculations and deal with domains and stuff that I don't want to deal with.
Sounds like fun.
But I get a small, cheap board, because if you buy the development board, it's $7. If you make it yourself, it's $1.30 or whatever. The chip, the IC, the SoC itself.
Yes, but how much
is-
time are you going to be spending soldering this board together, debugging it because you fucked up a trace?
Don't ask.
It's one of my hobbies.
That's fair, but I guess I'm very like but this is
If
also
you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's
This
fair.
is
Yeah,
exactly
yeah, yeah.
it.
Like-
I have way more fun going in and designing the
well,
PCB
cool. Then
and
I'll write the
learning
software
these
for it
things.
because that's what I like to do.
That's great. You can write the software. I'll design the hardware.
There, it seems like a
I'll
fair...
test its durability.
Oh no.
Quentin will just throw it on the concrete. There you go. There's your durability
drop
test.
Yes.
Make sure.
Give me a match.
No, make sure it works in the coal.
I find
There
it
you go.
very fun and interesting. Is it ultimately, realistically, let's be real. I'm putting in so many engineering hours, right? Call my salary $30 an hour or whatever. I've spent 8 hours building this board. Yeah, it's easier and cheaper and quicker to just buy the board from wherever for the $7 that it costs. But it's not as fun or satisfying for me, right? I get to invest this time and learn about this thing, and now I have another small little circuit that I can copy from one thing to another and use as the base of a new project.
Are you putting the power delivery like in this board as well? Like it's gonna have all,
a
everything is
single
completely
board.
managed.
One board. I'm probably going to add a like lithium, like an 18650 socket.
Nice.
So you literally solder up the board, shove an 18650 in there,
And it
done,
works.
and it
Okay.
works. And then we can make them available for people.
That's true. We could sell them on Tindy.
Place an order
it.
on our website, and
Tindy.
it'll get manufactured or whatever.
Yeah, we should totally look into how much it's going to cost PCBA to make these.
Yeah.
Well, depends on where you use. I use JLC.
Get a prototype
$1
working
for a
first.
board. $5
Well, that's
boards.
how much it costs for the board itself. PCBA means they build it for you.
Yes, it's going to be significantly more. They're
but
not going to be
if
cheap.
we could still turn a
projects,
profit,
but
that'd still be great.
It should be interesting. I don't know, because it's always something that I've wanted to learn for a long time. Ever since high school, I wanted to be able to make my own like ICs and PCBs and stuff.
ICs
all
ain't
the
gonna
way
hap-
down
well-
to the lowest level.
There's a 22-year-old kid that made
I'm well aware,
headlines.
and it's something that I wish to pursue in the
Well,
future.
yeah, but I want to talk about it on the podcast. There's a 22-year-old kid who made headlines who was able to make his own ICs in his parents' garage.
It's really, really, really
Somebody's
cool.
got a future at the new Intel plant.
Well, it's only like a couple thousand transistors at the most, because he's using hardware from the 1970s.
Hey, they make
But,
simple ones, too.
Like I say, any excuse to buy a new tool. So I guess I'm looking into a scanning electron microscope now.
I guess this isn't. Well, my dad might be able to help you with that. And
Ooh, that's good. That's good. I also
and-
need to figure out how to dope silicon, and that's gonna.
well,
be
my dad
fun.
used to work in a forensics lab for Sherman
Oh,
Williams.
perfect! So he can help me source some arsenic. Hell
get some
yes.
dope.
Well, he used to actually. So he used to work in the analytics lab at Sherman Williams, and he would like actually have to analyze paint from a forensic level. Like, he had to use an electron microscope to analyze the molecules in the paint.
Yes, but I don't have $20,000 for a scanning electron
Yet.
microscope.
Yet. Try starting a new startup company and then see if you can just get the capital to invest in
You
it.
mean casual coders?
You mean
Yeah.
Chandler? That's
Yeah.
number 7.
There you go. Perfect.
We've got a new
go.
business venture, boys.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, are you ready to invest in?
Yeah. Currently, our only investor is Kyle.
Not a scam. Not a scam.
Yeah, Kyle, can you invest in this $20,000 scanning electron microscope
value.
for me?
Very good.
Only if he can use it
18
whenever he
silicon
wants.
wafers. Yeah, right. It's
no.
just as useful as the
guess-
podcast setup, I swear.
I guess your opinion though on the PCB isn't much different from me wanting to build a Voron.
A what?
A Voron, it's okay. So the Voron is an open source 3D printer that's known for being extremely fast, and it's fully open source. You can 3D print like 50% of the parts, and the
Yeah,
other
it's fast
50%
and
of the
lightweight.
parts
It's awesome.
you just buy. They're like aluminum extrusions, standard 3D printer boards, and stuff like that. And then it costs roughly $1,000 to build, but it is like on par quality wise with a $5,000 printer.
Yeah, they're very,
All right.
very impressive machines, and that's one of the benefits of open sourcing this stuff, right? Eventually, there becomes a mass demand for it because it's awesome and it's dirt cheap.
Dirt cheap, relatively, yeah.
Yeah.
Relatively,
Yeah,
yes.
it's a
But
comparable
Voron
option.
also makes other printers. There's the Voron Zero. There's the
Yeah.
2.4, and they have two other ones. I don't remember what they were called.
My neighbor owns a Voron 2.4.
Yeah, the Voron 2.4 is the one I want to build. I want to build the massive Voron 2.4 that's 350 millimeters cubed. So it's 350 by 350 by 350 millimeters cubed. I don't know what that comes out to, but it's a
I
lot of
say
freaking
having my
space.
800 by 800 by 800 millimeter 3D printer that I designed in high school that still doesn't
Nice.
work really.
Doesn't work. Uh-oh.
We don't talk about that.
Well, I also instead
It's
of
big.
It's functional. It's big. It's it could be better, but it could.
you need a
always be
3D
better.
printed chair.
Nice.
I think that'd be funny.
That'd be pretty interesting. I just don't feel like constantly feeding it new spool
Yeah, that's a
after
lot
new
of
spool.
no,
material.
just get a
new
10
spool.
kilogram spool. It'll be fine.
Wow. You know, speaking of personal projects, I've always wondered just what everyone's personal project list looks like. Because
I
some
don't
of
wanna
them are
talk
very
about it.
short and some of them are very long.
I have 105 repos on GitHub.
I don't know how many projects I have currently running. There's technically the big 3D printer that's been running for the past 5 years, or longer. I don't know. It's a long time.
I mean, I think maybe if I try to condense
I'm working
it,
on like 8 different things for casual coders.
like I might have 30. And of various stages of not started or almost done, just one more thing.
There's the Combo Power Protect, which is getting closer to being done now
The
that I've
what?
ordered ICs. Okay, so the Combo Power, it's a little device that connects to the ODB2 port of your car
Hey, I
and
know what
runs
that
an
is.
Ethernet cord up to the Comma 2. Well, as wonderful things
When we
happen.
go to lunch, you'll be able to see a self-driving car.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly. But the Comma 2 is the self-driving dev kit. Go watch the mainline project video if you haven't. That's out. We can talk about that maybe after this. But it's literally just straight battery voltage to the device. It stays on forever. Well, you see, if you leave your car with the device plugged in for 12 days without driving it, you sort of wake up with a battery that's at 7 volts. So what I did with the Comet Power Protect is I spun up a new PCB that just replaces this little guy. I've pulled components off and we'll just resolder them on. And it includes a MOSFET to switch the power off when the battery voltage of the car drops below a set point. That way, you don't wake up with a car that doesn't turn on.
Low quiescent current consumption.
Yeah, right.
Those are
It
big words
takes
I
a
learned in
constant 50 milliamp. It takes a constant 50 milliamp draw and drops it down to 10 microamp or so.
That's good.
Yes.
So I've heard though that like when you drain a battery in a hybrid, more bad things happen than just you can't start your car.
Yeah.
It's okay. You jump a hybrid just like you do a normal car, actually.
Really? I didn't
Now
know
there's
that.
Now, if you drain the hybrid battery on the car, oh, you're fucked.
So
Well, can the car operate in just gas mode? Like if you buy a hybrid car and the battery's fucked, can you just operate it in gas mode?
I mean, you can't
I
turn the car
Don't
on, right?
think so. It still
Really?
uses the 12 volt lead acid to kick over the battery, but it's a 90 horsepower car at that point. Like half the power from the car is the hybrid system.
Really? I didn't
Yes.
think. I thought the engines in those hybrids were pretty much normal engines.
No,
They
they're
just,
You're
significantly
essentially
smaller.
driving a golf cart at that point.
Yes, they are significantly smaller. I think the normal Toyota Corolla is like 160 horsepower or something.
But so the hybrid,
The
like,
hybrid model has a 90 horsepower gas engine and a 100 horsepower electric motor.
that's why they. Well, I remember the newer Corollas, like the newer as in 2023 or 2022, whatever. Where whatever the newer 1 year newer than yours is, advertise that they're 210 horsepower now. I don't know what they did to do that. I don't know if they increased the horsepower on the engine or they increased the horsepower on the electric motor, but they're slightly higher
You can
horsepower.
gain efficiencies and other things. Yeah, right. And you
Yeah.
get more you get faster response because you have instant torque from the traction motor.
I think I'm gonna wait to get like instead of getting a hybrid Corolla, which is what I was really considering, or getting like a hybrid Accord or something. I would prefer Accord. I like larger sedans. I like Ian's car, but it's a little
Just
small.
get a Toyota Prius.
Nah, I like larger vehicles a little bit more. So I would probably.
The Prius is the larger version of the Corolla. It's basically the Camry, just in hybrid.
I don't
form.
hate Toyotas, but I really like Hondas. So I
Is
wanted
there
to.
any
like,
reason in particular?
I just always grew up. I grew up around Hondas. So I grew up. My
He's
girl-
got that brand loyalty. I don't have any brand
I mean,
loyalty. Hondas and Toyotas.
cars
to me
are one
both
of the
good
few
cars.
things that I have brand loyalty with.
I don't.
I
So-
hear so much about people complaining like, "Oh, I'd never get a Dodge. Oh, I can't believe Ford
I
uses these
always
electronics."
say they're called Dodge for a reason.
I've heard that they're really unreliable cars.
That's
A little
yeah.
See,
too
that's-
much RAM, not enough Dodge.
yeah.
There's also much hearsay about it where I realize I'm just like, well, I have a car
Realistically,
that runs.
there's nothing wrong with them.
Realistically, they're
It's
fine
just not what I
cars, yeah.
want.
I can't
if that
afford to
makes sense.
cycle through them enough to try them.
Yeah.
So I want like either a Accord hybrid or I just want to go full on and wait until I can afford an electric vehicle. So
Yeah.
of some kind. I would like the Ford F-150 Lightning by far is my dream car. I want a Ford F-150 Lightning.
What is that?
It is the fully electric version of the F-150.
I've heard of it.
Yes.
Interesting.
The other vehicles I was looking into, like I said, the Accord hybrid. If they ever make a full electric Accord, I would love that. If I ever get stupid
What if?
finance money, I want a
What
Porsche.
if?
I want a Porsche Taycan 4S.
What if you convert an Accord to all electric?
Well, that's the other thing too. I want to do a casual coders project where we take like a normal car and we convert it to electric for as cheap as possible while still keeping
So
it
we
practical.
just go to the local junkyard,
Yes.
buy a garbage car,
Yes.
and then buy a wrecked Toyota Corolla hybrid or some wrecked Toyota Prius.
you
and
kinda
then
need
just
an electric
slap
car.
some shit together and call
Well,
it
no,
good.
You can get off the shelf electric car parts.
You
From
absolutely
Ford
can.
sells
They're just very
electric
expensive.
block engines now.
The best bet is actually to purchase someone's old project that they've given up on, converting an electric car to, or a gas car to electric, and then finish their work.
Right. Maybe someday you'll be able to give up on it.
Yeah, exactly. It is true, though. A lot of people give up on it, and you can find the parts for cheap if you know where to look.
Well, the new trend apparently is that since everything's moving to electric, there are full car companies in California that are just dedicated to taking old retro cars and converting them to electric so they don't let the car die.
That's
So,
interesting.
for example, they have like electric Beetles where they give like those little, the Volkswagen Beetles, Bugs, stupid amounts of horsepower. Because those engines had what, like 50 horsepower when they were new?
I think not a whole lot. I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
now they're giving them like 150 horsepower electric motors, so the cars are like terrifying to drive, but they're practical now. You can actually use them for something.
I guess that's fair. A bug's a relatively light vehicle, right?
Oh, they weigh nothing.
So,
There's no
yeah.
safety features or anything. It's just a stick. It's
None of those pesky
I mean, it'd be pretty
features.
easy to drive that though. Then
Yeah.
just slap in a motor and a battery, and you could probably get a decent range.
They said that the electric conversions usually get 250 to 300 miles on a charge.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, and
Now
then,
it's
like,
probably very expensive.
Another common
but-
one is that do electric conversions of Porsches. Another common one is
Why would you convert a? Well, that maybe depends. If
old
it's a wrecked
Porsches,
Porsche,
older Porsches. And then the new trend is taking the American muscle cars. They make Ford and Chevy make bolt-on electric motors that just go onto the old transmission.
What?
Yeah.
yeah.
That you can just bolt it on, replace the engine with a battery bank, and you just turn your old classic muscle car into an electric car.
Well, it sounds like we've got a new project here that'll take the rest of our lives.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, someone's gonna have to start making more money to make that one work.
All right.
Not only
well,
will you be
all of
working
us.
on it, your children's children will be working on it.
Exactly.
They'll be
Yes.
selling it to get
Yes.
it out of the dang house. I'm sure of that.
I don't want this in the driveway anymore, Grandpa. You gotta get this shit out of here.
All the parts will be obsolete by the time
Back
anything's
in
You're just
done.
my day.
by the time it's done, you're just a brain floating in a computer.
Yeah, right.
My brain has been entirely replaced with transistors.
Oh no.
How many trillion transistors would have to be in a human head to replicate it?
How many neurons are there?
Quadrillions.
Quadrillions?
Or quintillions, perhaps.
Huh.
How small can we make transistors?
You called?
Wasn't there something?
3 atoms.
You motherfucker. Wasn't there something about making transistors the size of like a single
single carbon atom, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's actually slightly incorrect because I recall looking this up earlier, and it was the thickness of a single carbon atom. They were using graphene to make transistors.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what it
But
was.
then again, it's the whole graphene thing. So if you say graphene, I instantly discount it because
Carbon
graphene has been
nanotubes.
around for 1,000,000 years now, it seems, and nothing ever happens with with it. So
Disagree.
can you name one like proper graphene invention?
blew
that's
Quentin's mind.
mass-produced?
I can name lots of research projects that had all sorts of graphene substrates.
Absolutely, and how many of them are commercial viable products?
That's not how research works.
All right,
Different
I think
industries.
We've answered the question, then.
I don't think so. One of the school projects I've been working on, all right, so I'm gonna backtrack a little bit actually.
Oh boy.
By backtrack, I mean I'm not gonna tell that story. I'm gonna tell something related to it. So when I started my senior seminar class this semester for school, it's been about 2 weeks. I think the last time we filmed the podcast was the week before we started school, right, Ian? I think so, yeah. But we went into the senior seminar class, all right? And just the first day of class, she said, okay, anybody here looking for an internship? And about 3/4 of the class raised their hand. And I go, okay, that makes sense. And then she says, has any of you ever worked an internship before? And 2 of us raised our hands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? We're seniors? We're like about to graduate and none of you guys have worked an industry job before. And I don't want to sound entitled, but like they're about to graduate and go into the workforce and none of them have had any real world coding experience.
What? Well, they may have real world coding experience if they've made personal projects.
I've
or anything
talked to
like
some of
that,
these people
but-
before. No, they haven't.
Yeah, a very
I-
disappointing number of people at the career fair had 0 experience in like any personal projects.
I don't understand how you can enter a degree and be like, all right, I'm real excited and cool about this. I'm going to drop
And then
20,
never-
50,
'Cause you hear it pays
$60,000
well.
on it because you hear it pays well.
Right.
And then never,
have
like,
never
involve
done
yourself with it.
anything or have never involved yourself with it. Yeah, right. Like, I don't know, what percentage of, I guess, CS majors have
Apparently most of them.
programmed their own, like, fun things.
Well,
or
yeah, like
whatever,
most of them
right?
haven't is the thing. Like I
Yeah.
talked to a
Such
lot of the
weird
other
thing. I
people in
would
the
have
CS
assumed it would be
server.
a very large number of
I talked to a
people.
bunch of people on the computer science server about nerdy stuff. Like a lot of them are into Linux, a lot of them are into like that kind of stuff. But most of them haven't, like, outside of talking about it or outside of just using Linux, they haven't done a lot of programming projects.
I'd be really interesting to bring one of them on to try to understand their perspective. Like, why don't you do?
Well, I have some
programming
people who say
projects
just
or-
they only went it for a job. I have some people
Yeah,
who are.
I've
I've met a
seen
few
that.
people who are actually passionate about it. Like, for example, the story I was going to tell is that of my friend Jesse. He mentioned to me that, like, hey, if we can get this project working well, I wouldn't mind talking with like some investors and making this into a business. And I said, okay. That's what I was joking. Let's start number 6.
Nice.
If that happens, cool. If that doesn't happen, oh well. It's a school project. It's still useful.
Well,
Does
useful
Jesse have
for
a
the
girlfriend?
purpose of getting a degree.
Yeah, Jesse does have a girlfriend.
I'd like to meet Jesse's girl.
That's such a stupid joke.
I saw that one coming. He didn't catch me by surprise like the last time.
Anyway, but like we were Like, I was so surprised to hear that. And like, then because I am an entrepreneur, I stood up and said, my company needs interns. Anyone can contact me about it if they want. Entrepreneur. Yeah.
Casual Coders needs intern now.
But we won't pay
We
you.
need a marketing intern that we can't pay until we have ad revenue. That's your job, is to get us ad revenue.
This is not a scam.
That seems like a reasonable enough thing. Yeah. What is it? Is it info at
info@casualcoders.dev.
casualcoders.dev?
So we're going to get spammed now. So
Hey, that's fine. I don't have to deal with it. You're the one dealing with that, I bet.
Nice.
it's
New
Google.
project. Good email filter.
AI email filter. It automatically looks for sex bots.
That exists already.
And lets them go in.
Damn. This is really funny, actually. My friend received one of these the other day.
Oh, no.
And I want to read it out because it's just so funny.
All right, go ahead.
Hey there, babe. I found you on Snap and you seem sort of cute. Haha, comma, comma, comma. Anyway, ... Look at my story and let me know. It looks like add me on sex. My username is bleep, period. Okay, question mark?
Honestly, I think the Snapchat sex bots are the funniest because there's just such a low bar
Really?
for whoever makes these.
Yeah, no, it's like, I don't know. We could make an AI that automatically generates them, I bet.
Like okay, so this is a weird story, but I was in a group chat where like it's just one of those places where you regret being added, but every time you leave, you get added back into the group. So the best thing to do is just mute notifications and try to forget about it.
Yup.
But for a while, for maybe a week or two, I was like, you know what? They always do this. Let me just see what's up. There's maybe 80 people in this. They would regularly add accounts of the sex bots or whatever and just like mess with them. And they'd always see like the weird messages they send. And it's like formulaic. I think it would be trivial to write a bot
That actually is good.
That just makes thousands of Snapchat accounts, downloads like 4 pictures from the internet, just keeps sending them out and saying like the worst like terrible grammar mistakes or things that don't even make sense. I mean, I was
You're
guessing
acting
they were
as if that's not what they already do.
I know, but I was guessing they must have been like Russian or something because so much of like the text just seemed translated.
It's just
but
Russian text.
It was so poorly translated that some of the phrases had to be lost in translation where I was just like, what does this even mean? But
you have to wonder if they're even making any money
It
from
must
that.
be
Like,
profitable.
It must be profitable because I guess they're really bad.
they
as
were
of
always
late.
like, oh, come baby, please go to website and enter credit card detail. There's no charge or
Hey,
something
babe,
like
you're
that.
pretty cute. Looks like you're loaded. Why don't you give me the 16 digits on your credit card and the 3 spicy numbers on the back?
But I mean, you have to imagine that they know that there's such a low bar, but if one person falls for a scam that targets 1 million people, you know, that's still profitable, right? Like somebody makes money somewhere,
I
right?
guess. Yeah, I don't know.
It's so anyway, that's startup number 8, isn't it? You want to make a bot?
No.
right.
So I get I get those
man.
occasionally, and half the time I text them back something like, "Bro, your bot sucks," or something like that.
Tell your manager to work on
I do
it.
the same thing, yeah.
Bro, you need a better algorithm for this bot.
I've responded to a handful of Discord messages because I shouldn't say this. I keep my Discord DMs open for the other communities that I'm in so that I can be one of the educated people who receives the, hey man, I just reported your Steam account and you're gonna get banned, so that I can
Shady link.
so that shady link, or contact this user here who's pretending to be a Valve employee
Right.
or some other Discord account or whatever, so that I can go in, report that person to whatever server they originated from, get them out of there, and then follow up with proper reports to Discord and
Nice.
Steam and all that, and just like, these are the accounts, these are clearly scamming, deal with those, and yeah.
So on
That
my,
way some uneducated 5-year-old doesn't, whatever.
yeah, on my Discord, I joined a couple of crypto-related communities on Discord.
Oh.
And I
hacked your Bitcoin wallet.
well, no.
I hacked your Minecraft server.
That's not what I
mine
get.
Bitcoin.
No,
No.
griefers allowed.
That's not what I get. I usually get stuff like, ooh, we're launching this new cryptocurrency, join now. Or we're launching this new
these.
cryptocurrency related project, join this Discord now.
So understand why these sound like scams to us regular folk.
Because they are.
You can't tell the difference from the intro pitch.
I mean, yeah, for someone who doesn't understand anything about crypto, right? Oh my God, all these other cryptos have taken off. why not this one?
Yeah.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. They're
Explain-
just
explain
building
how
on
these
the
are
hype.
scams.
Well, it's not so much that they're scams. It's just I don't fucking want to see them. Some of
You
them
don't
could be
care.
legit. I don't know if
What if they're all
scams.
legit?
Or they could all be. You're right. They could be, and I don't want
Here's a
to.
new shitcoin for you to try to sign up for.
Shitcoin, where do I invest?
Yeah, but what's the thing is,
Our
right?
coin is gonna be
Whoever
called
is sending
fucks,
out
okay?
that message.
Fucks?
Whoever is,
Yeah, we're gonna give people fucks.
but like it's so
Non-fungible.
non-fungible fucks. Yes,
Non-fungible fucks. It's right there.
but like so often, right? You'd see someone sends out a message, buy this Bitcoin or buy this new crypto.
I was trying
and
to
they
find one of
already
them, and I-
own a whole bunch of that stock.
Yeah,
So
and
then
then-
once it takes off, they sell out, and the other people who
Yes,
bought
thank
in
you.
are stuck.
That is the
holding
basic
that is
tokenomics
the
of scamming, yeah.
yeah,
Very
exactly.
common scam.
Yeah. So that's
Right.
that's what the whole. Apparently, the actor who played Stanley from The Office,
Oh no.
he was making a new one called Stanley Nichols.
He was making actual Stanley nickels?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
and it didn't. I don't think it went anywhere. He's turning into a scam artist. But anyway,
Did they have any Shroot bucks?
that's that'd be Rainn Wilson.
No, they
was
just
that
pay
one.
you in beats.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, beats are like the.
What if? What
Never
if we
mind.
pay in beans?
Hey, we know somebody. We know Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby's Dwight.
Bobby does look like Dwight.
Bobby looks exactly like
Bobby
Dwight.
looks exactly like Rainn
then we
Wilson.
got
It's like
Beans.
Yeah. When
uncanny.
are we having Bobby on the podcast that we have to censor half of?
Take him from the farm.
Well, Dad take him from the army, actually.
So the farm.
No, we want to do a history episode with Bobby.
Yeah.
Drunk
But we're
history.
gonna have to.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I don't know if that's better or worse.
That's gonna be hilarious.
Oh,
is what it's
God.
Well,
gonna
how
be.
much time do you have to edit that one?
Well, yeah. So that
yeah,
one.
I know it's gonna have to be filmed like 3 weeks in advance to give me enough time to censor half the episode.
And it'll have to be 3 hours long to cut it to 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. The beep. It's just gonna be a one solid 1 hour sine wave.
Yeah,
Yes,
but going back
test
to what
your
I was saying,
speakers.
I ended up turning off my DMs for these channels because of how much spam I was getting.
No.
It's just there's so much solicitation that
Yeah.
it's so hard to tell when you have 100
And I can't tell.
messages a
I
day.
really can't tell if they're bots or not, and I don't want to find out, so I just block. The same thing happens
enough.
on like some of my game dev discords,
See,
where
I
they'll
got-
text me like, "Hey, I launched this new game on itch.io. You want to play it and give me a 5-star rating?" And I'm like, "No, I don't."
Hey man, I launched this new malware on. Yeah.
begging for reviews.
Yeah.
I also love how whenever you're talking to those sex bots just to mess with them, you mention the word bot.
Right, if you say robot, they're like, no, babe,
No,
I'm
no,
very
no, I'm
real
not
human.
a robot. Couldn't possibly be. I am real
Then-
human. Yes.
How could I say like bubblegum tree drop whatever? That's what one said to me. I said
What?
and I said, "Okay. How much you pay on me now?"
What?
And I'm like,
Oh my god.
"You're
No,
a fucking
babe, please,
you're a
just
fucking
sign
bot."
up at Shady Link.
And they were like, "How can I say this?" And then they send you a link that it says track dot. I'm like, I'm not fucking stupid.
Just wait until they're on GPT, man.
Oh my
wait until they know how to
God.
talk. The bots will form their own sentences.
Wait
and they'll
until
make
the
sense.
bot can scrape Wikipedia.
Yeah. Huh.
That gets cut too.
Yeah, we're not keeping that.
Someone do a fucking
Fun
auction.
fun facts. My HVAC instructor used to say a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch is the difference between an ooh and an ah when talking about making ductwork.
Wait, what?
Someone
said-
said,
he said that.
Okay,
Someone
well,
said
that to
no,
his
no,
students.
we're not ending it here. I have to hear this. How did he fucking relate that to putting ducts with HVAC? Please explain.
I am actually sort of curious because that's just a sex joke.
Yeah, how do you make that? It doesn't matter.
So when making the ductwork,
Uh huh.
a difference between a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch. If you give it a 1/4, it's going to be off by about by about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. If you give it 1/2 inch, it's going to be right on time, right perfect. That makes no sense whatsoever. But that's how
He just wanted any excuse to make that joke, man.
Oh yeah, he was hilarious. I'm not gonna call him out by name. He knows who he is if he ever listens to this.
I hope he
you
doesn't.
You were my favorite teacher of all time. Keep doing you.
I feel bad for the thousands to millions of unused RC networks all inside that flash memory storing all of this crap that will be cut out.
Rest in pieces, transistors.
Good night. All right, that's it.
That's it.